it's your boy Osas, and in today's episode, we are going to be laying the groundwork for our message upload service. Of course, in the last couple of episodes, we set up the media picker functionality. It is time for us to start working towards uploading those media messages into a channel so our chat partners can see them. So the focus of this, next couple of episodes is going to be uploading video messages, uploading voice messages, and of course, photo messages. And in order for us to do that, we need to set up some sort of a helper method that allows us to be able to upload this media files into our Firebase storage bucket. So let us get right into business and let us start thinking about what we need to do for today. So of course, the first thing we need is let us talk about what a media message actually is. So for example, I have the completed version of the project on this simulator right here. So right here we have a photo message. And if you think about it, what is a photo message? Well, a photo message is just a image, right, that we're going to be uploading to our Firebase backend, and that image is going to return us when we're done uploading it some sort of a URL, right, a location. You can think of it as a pointer to where this is stored in our storage backend, and it's that URL that we're actually going to store in our database, right? And when you think about a video, it's no different. A video contains two properties really for us to really be able to properly display it. We need some sort of a thumbnail, right, which is just another image, right, and we're going to store that thumbnail URL in our Firebase backend as well, our Firebase storage, and also we need some sort of a video URL, right? So if you remember in the last episodes where we were actually handling video picker functionality, every time we pick the video, we got back some sort of a URL. Well, we need to upload that URL file to our backend as well and store that URL in our database so we can reference it. So it's going to be a couple of things that we need to deal with. And it's the same thing with the audio messages, right? An audio message is nothing but just, a file URL and also audio duration because, audio messages don't have thumbnails. However, they do have a audio duration, like the total duration of the voice message. So with those out of the way, let us get right into creating some sort of a helper method. And I'm just going to go right above here. And inside of our helper folder, let us go right ahead and create some sort of a Firebase helper, right? Because we're going to be dealing with the Firebase storage a lot. So I'm going to say new file. It's going to be a Swift file. And what is this file going to be called? Let's just call it Firebase helper. I think that's a pretty common conventional name. So what is Firebase helper going to be doing for us? Well, it's really just going to be uploading photo messages, uploading URL files of audio or video messages, right? And of course, any other sort of media that we need. And this is going to be reusable for our profile photos, for example. So like, for example, when you're uploading a profile photo for a channel, we're going to be reusing this Firebase helper as well. And same thing for a user's profile photo. So this is going to be a very nice reusable helper class or struct. But I'm just going to go ahead and make it a struct. I'm going to say Firebase helper. Okay, so what do we want this Firebase helper to do? First off, we know we want it to be able to upload, images. So I'm just going to create a static method on it, and I'm going to say upload image. Okay, so upload image is going to take the image that it needs to upload, which is going to be of type UI image. And now I also want to know, because like I said earlier, what kind of what use case are we using it for? Because this is going to be used for profile photos, for video messages, and for photo messages as well. So I would like for us to have some sort of an enum that denotes that. So some sort of an upload type. So I'm going to go right below here, and I'm going to create a Firebase. I'm going to create an extension on our Firebase helper. Let's see, Firebase helper. All right, so I'm going to create an enum called upload type inside of this extension. And the reason I'm making this an extension is because I want it to be namespace to the Firebase helper. You can feel free not to make it a namespace. That's up to you. So I'm going to create, let's see, I want to use this Firebase helper to be able to upload, for example, profile images. Also, what else? We want photo messages, right? What else? We want video messages, and it's message, not messages, actually. It's not plural. So we also want it to be able to upload, let's see, audio message. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our upload image method that we're creating. And right here for this parameter, I'm going to say the type, right? And it's going to ask for the upload type that we want to upload it for. And then we want to return some sort of a URL or some sort of an error when we are actually done completing that upload process. So I'm going to say completion, and it's going to be an escape enclosure because we're making a URL request. But I'd like for us to use a type alias for this because it's just going to be much more cleaner. So I'm going to go above our struct. I'm going to create a type alias, or we could do it inside of our struct. I don't know if it really matters. So I'm going to say upload completion. And what is upload completion going to be? Well, it's just going to be an enum of results. And the results, actually, it's just going to be a result. It's not even an enum. It's just going to be a result type. And it's going to either return us a URL or it's going to return us an error. And of course, it's void because we're trying to use disclosure. So I'm going to make sure my syntax is correct. Okay, so now this escaping is going to be returning us some sort of an upload completion, which means when we're done, we get back our URL, or if it fails, we get back an error. However, I would also like for us to have some sort of a progress handler, because let's say in your own version of the project, you wanted to have some sort of a progress indicator while the image or the photo or the voice message is uploading. You can go ahead and use this, but I'm not really going to be using this progress indicator in this project. Actually, the only time I'll be using it is inside of the profile photo upload, and you see that in upcoming episodes. So I want to create some sort of a progress handler here. I'm just going to copy this And this progress handler is going to be, let's see, I'm going to say progress handler. It's a type alias as well. And it's not a results type. It's just going to be a double because it's just going to be returning the float, the value of how much of the file we've already uploaded. And so right here, I'm going to say it returns and a progress handler as well. And I think that's all we need for this method. So what do we need to do inside of this method? So let's see, we need to import UIKit because UI image is from the UIKit module. Okay, so what do we need to do inside of this method? And also we can honestly create new lines for this because it just makes it a little more readable. So I'm going to go right ahead and do that. Okay, so what does this upload image method does? Well, we need to actually get the JPEG representation of that image. So I'm going to say image data, and it's going to be, we have a function called JPEG compression that does the JPEG data compression for us. And basically, we want to compress the image down by just 0.5, else we're just going to return out of the scope. Okay, what else do we need? We need some sort of a storage reference. So the storage ref is essentially in our Firebase real-time database. It's what paths do we actually want to, so let's see, Firebase, no, not Firebase. Do I not have any Firebase here? Not that. Real-time, goodness gracious. Firebase Google. So I wanted to show us the storage path, for example, that inside of our Firebase bucket, this is essentially what paths do we want to store this. So we need some sort of a storage paths for our upload image. Essentially, under what bucket do we want to store it? So I'm going to say storage ref is going to be, I would like for us to have some sort of a computer property inside of our upload image. I would like some sort of a type.file path. It would just be so much more cleaner. So I'm going to go right here because we don't have a file path yet. I'm going to go right inside of our upload type, and I'm going to create a computer property here called file path. So I'm going to say file path is going to be of type storage reference. Okay, we need to import our Firebase storage module. So I'm going to go up here, import Firebase storage. With Firebase storage imported, I'm going to go back down here. And again, the file path is of type storage reference. Storage reference, thank you. And it's a computer property, right? So we want to switch on self. We want to switch on each of these cases. So let's see, what do we want to do? So I'm going to first and foremost create some sort of a, random UUID. I'm going to call it the file name, and it's just going to be a UUID. Let's initialize it, and we want UUID string. Okay. So for the profile images, I would like for us to return the path that we want to actually store our profile images. And I'm going to do this even cleaner by using our Firebase constants. So I would use something like Firebase constants.storageref. So we don't have a storage ref yet, a storage reference yet. I'm going to command and jump into this Firebase constants. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to create a storage reference inside of here. And I'm just going to come down here. Actually, I'm going to do it above the database. I'm just going to say static let storage. We want to make it capital, storage ref. And it's just going to be of type storage. It's just going to be storage.storage. I believe that's the signature. And we want the reference. Okay. I did not spell storage correctly, so I'm just going to say storage ref. That looks good. So let's go back to our Firebase helper method. So now inside of our Firebase helper method, I would like for us to do something like storage ref dot child, of course, and the child, we're just going to say profile underscore image underscore URLs, and the child name is going to be the final path file name. So it's going to do something like, it's going to store it in this path called profile image URL / whatever the file name is, which is the random UUID. That's going to be the bucket location. So we're going to do the same thing for these other messages. I'm just going to copy this, paste it in the photo message. And of course, for photo message, I'll just say message images, or we can call it just photo messages. Okay, let's copy this, paste it here. And for this one, it's going to be, let's see, video messages, because this is for the video. And for audio, we're going to store it in the audio or voice, whichever one you prefer. Let's see, voice messages. I think it's a good name. And we could change this to voice message as well instead of just audio message. Voice message for a consistent naming pattern. So now with our file path created as a computer property, we can go back to our upload image property method. And now let us go back and continue our process. So we have our file path, and now we can just upload it using storage ref. Using, let's see, we need so that's a storage ref. We could just say storage ref, right? Dot put data. We have this put data method, and there's one that returns us a metadata, a completion with error. And let's see, I think we should go with this one. Okay, so we're going to put data, and what data are we going to be putting? Well, this image data right here that we just created by compressing it to 0.5, and we're going to enter this completion handler. So it's asking for a storage metadata. We don't really care about that. We do care about the error though. So now we're going to unwrap this. We're going to say if let error is equals to error, right? If there's an error, what do we want to do? Well, we want to return out of this. We want to return some sort of a completion, and let's see, we want to return failure, right? We want to return some sort of error message in there. But before we do that, let us just print something here, and we're just going to say failed to upload image to storage. Okay. And what do we want to do for error? So what I would like for us to do is to do the style that we did in our authentication module. So I'm going to jump right into our auth folder just because I'm being lazy, and I would like for us to use what we're using in our auth provider. So I'm going to jump into the auth provider file. I'm just going to steal this error cases that we've created over here with the descriptions and all that. And I'm going to jump back into our Firebase output method. And right up here, I'm just going to put this error right here, but this is no longer going to be authentication error. I'm just going to call this upload error. And the case that we need is, the first case that we need is there's some sort of a error. So I'll say failed to upload message or failed to upload image. So I'm going to remove this other error cases for now. Again, this is just a case of me being lazy. So let's see, we want failed to upload that. I'm going to remove this other cases, remove this email login case. Okay, so we have our error messages, and this is not authentication error. This is an extension on the upload error. All right, so I think we have everything we need right now. So what do we need to do, right? Whenever we fail to upload an image, we're just going to say right here, dot, let's see, dot auth error. Let's see, what do we need to do? Okay, so we're just going to go right ahead and say, let's see, upload error dot failed to upload image. It's going to ask for a description, and we'll just pass in the localized description that we're getting back from this error from our completion handler of this put data method. So now with this setup, we know if this, if this block does not fire, there was no error, and that means we actually successfully, uploaded our photo message to the backend. So I would like for us to say storage ref to download the URL completion. So we have two options. There's one that returns the results, and I want us to use that. And I'm just going to go right ahead and pass in our completion handler. So I'm just going to say completion. Right? Completion. And why are we able to pass in our completion handler here that has this upload completion inside of this Firebase method called download URL? It's because they're actually of the same type. They have exactly the same signature. Our upload completion type alias is of type results, and if it's successful, it's a URL. If it's failure, it returns an error, right? So we can just go right ahead and write that as a single line as opposed to doing something like, let's see, download URL, right? And then doing like a switch statement. We really don't need to do that here. We can just directly pass in our completion handler because they're both the same types. So with that done, we're able to upload images. The next thing I want us to do is to handle being able to actually listen to the progression or the progress, because we have a progress handler, if you remember, in this second completion handler right up here. So for us to do that, we need to create some sort of an upload task. And the way we're going to do that is to create a handle on this storage ref put data process. I'm just going to say upload task is going to be equals to this, storage ref that put data. So now right below this, we can say upload task dot observe. There's an observe method on this, and this observe method can give us the progress of the storage upload progress. And let's see, what do we want to do here? So this is going to return us a snapshot. Okay, and I would like for us to first and foremost unwrap the progress. So I'm going to say got-let progress. Actually, that was about to complete for us. Let me see if got-let progress, a snapshot the progress. Else we're going to return out of the scope because we don't really have anything to report on. So now let us create a percentage of the progress that we have made so far. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to convert this into a double. We're going to say progress. Why is that giving us an error? Is this not an optional? Yeah, it is an optional progress. Okay, before we typecast it, let's just do this computation, which is progress dot completed unit counts, which is the amount of work that we've already uploaded, divided by the total amount of work that we need to do. So progress dot total unit counts. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to say, let's see, I'm just going to say, yep, I'm going to typecast this into a double. Okay, so now we can just go right ahead and say our progress handler, right? Our progress tracker. We can call it progress handler or progress tracker, but it's pretty much the same thing. We're going to return that percentage. We're going to give that percentage back to whoever is calling this upload image method. So with that, we got the first set of our to-do today done. And the next thing I want us to create is another method that allows us to be able to upload video messages and audio messages. Because again, remember, like we said at the beginning of the episode, we are basically handled image upload right now. So if we're about to upload a video, for example, first and foremost, we'd need to upload the thumbnail of the video, and then we'd upload the video file of the video. So we need a method that allows us to be able to upload both audio messages and video messages. So I'm going to create another method down here. I'm going to call it upload. Let's see, what's a good name? Upload file, perhaps. Right, we're uploading file to storage buckets. This is also going to request a type, right, which makes sense. We're going to say upload type. And what else? We want a file URL because remember, every audio message or every video message is going to have a URL. All right, and let's also do a completion handler and a progress handler here. And it's going to be escaping. Okay, and we're going to have a progress handler. It's also escaping. And it's escaping because it's going to most likely escape the scope of this specific function or the parent function that's calling it, because we're making a network request. If you don't understand escaping closures and non-escaping closures, please look up on YouTube or on Google. It's pretty much just the old way of doing async awaits. You can think of it that way, except you're not waiting for the result. You're just firing it and going to do other things. So let's see. We have upload file for type, upload type. We have a file URL, and we have our completion handlers. What do we need to do inside of this upload file? It's pretty much similar to the one above, to be honest with you. But we can honestly just copy everything we have here and just make a little bit of adjustment, with the exception of no more image data. And instead of put data, we're probably going to be put in file. So I'm going to copy all of this. Okay. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm going to paste it down here. And the storage reference is going to be the type of storage paths, that's file paths. Okay. And instead of put data, we're going to put file. So there's another method, another Firebase upload method called put file. And as you can see, it would put the file for us, and we're going to use this. I'm just going to say put file. And this one has a from signature. I'm going to say from. So from what? Well, we want to upload the file from this file URL that we're passing. And I think that's all we need. So I'm going to say fail to upload, let's see, file to storage. Okay. And of course, we can make this more dynamic. We could be like fail to upload video message or audio message. But I think this error message is good enough. And maybe we should also print the error, the localized description here, to be honest. Error, the localized description. And I'll copy this and do the same thing for the upload message method. So let's see, like that. Okay, let's go back to our upload file method. So now we're uploading our file. We have a handle on the progress. We're doing the same thing. The upload progress is the same thing. And the download completion is the same thing. I think that's pretty much all that we need. So as you can see, we're using two different methods. For the image upload, we're using the put data method because we're uploading the image data. While for the video and audio uploads, we're using the put file method, which is a Firebase storage method. And so this is going to be responsible for uploading both video and audio files to our storage bucket. Hopefully that's very clear enough. Of course, we could probably refactor this better or use maybe the async awaits variations of them, but let's see. Maybe in a later cleanup episode, I might end up doing that, but let us stick to this for now. And I think we have all that we need right now for this Firebase uploader. And so this helper method is really going to be very useful for us because, like I said, this upload image is going to be responsible for both profile images, for both video thumbnail and channel avatars. So we're going to be reusing these two methods a lot. And everything seems pretty good to me now. But before we round up for this episode, actually, you know what? I would like for us to have another error case. I'm sorry, guys. So this one, failed to upload image. I want us to have something like failed to upload file. Failed to upload file. Okay. And what else do we want? So I'm going to honestly use the same case because they're pretty much the same signature. I think that should work. No? Dot. I think that's what we need. Should work now. Isn't that how you do like both cases? Whatever. I'm just going to remove this. And let's see. I'm going to have the description as an associated value of this enum, and I'm going to return that description. Okay, so now I'm going to use this error here instead. Fail to upload file. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to add this error instead of fail to upload image inside of our upload file method. I'm going to say fail to upload file. Okay. And I think that's pretty much everything that we need. The other thing we could probably add an error message to is, honestly, I think that's good. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, before we round up, I would like for us to create some sort of if we go to our to-do list, one of the big things I wanted us to do is to create some sort of a message upload parameter, which is just going to be a struct that we're going to be using to upload our actual messages. And I'll show you what I mean. So let us jump right into our message service class. So I'm going to go into our service folder. We have this message service struct that eventually we should probably convert into a class, but we're going to do that cleanup in later episodes. And I'll show you why we need to do that conversion because of testing. Right now, a lot of these methods are static and it just makes for bad unit testing. They're impossible to test really. So we'll probably handle that in the final episodes when we're wrapping up the series. But for now, let us go ahead and create a message upload parameter. And I'm trying to think of where to put this, but I think I'm just going to put this here for now. I'm going to create a message upload struct. And we can call it a message upload struct, or we can call it a media message, but it doesn't matter. Let's just call it message upload, well, not struct, message upload params, which is just going to handle all the parameters that we need to upload for a specific media message. So what do we need for this? Well, we need the channel. We need to know the channel we're actually uploading into. So I would like for that to be passed into this uploader parameter. We need the text, right? If the message has a text, we're going to pass in the string. We need a type as usual. So the message type that we're trying to upload. We need some sort of an attachment because remember the attachment is when we actually select the media. So I'm going to say we need some sort of a media attachment. And let's see, we need a couple of other things like thumbnail, video URL, and all those other things. I'm just going to go right ahead and flush that. And this is going to make sense in the next episode when we actually use this message upload parameter. It's just going to make our lives much easier. So I'm going to say the thumbnail is optional. And the reason I'm saying it's optional is because remember, it really just depends on the upload type that we're uploading. If we're uploading a a audio or a voice message, we don't need a thumbnail. And, we're going to do the same thing for a bunch of these properties. So let's see. We need a potential video URL. So I'm going to say video URL, and this is going to be a string, and it's optional, right? We need some sort of a sender. We need to know who's sending the message. So I'm going to say user item. This is not going to be optional because this is a must. And we also, let's use some sort of a video or audio URL. Audio URL. I think that's a good name. It's also going to be an optional string as well. And what else do we need? We need some sort of an audio duration. So I'm going to say audio duration. And the audio duration is going to be of time interval, which is, again, remember, this is what we've been using when we actually recorded a voice message. And I think we have everything we need. Now, I would like for us to do a couple of computer properties on this, but I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode because it's going to make a lot more sense when we actually get started with the next episode and we handle this message upload parameter over to our message service to help us upload a photo message, a voice message, and a video message. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I know there was not UI work involved in this. It was just a lot of scaffolding or groundwork for us to be able to actually upload these media messages, but it's all going to come together in the next episode when we actually start uploading photo messages. Thank you for watching as always. I appreciate all the support. Please like, comment, subscribe. It means the world to me, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.